what was the turning point in where MK was all about Mortal Kombat and what MK is to just, hey, I'm just trying to, move along and get a check and go home.
All right, guys. One of my best pieces of advice that I would always give people is bite off more than you can chew and then chew it. So I did that, and that put me a little bit behind. So I'm sorry about getting the rest of this stream breakdown with Mike Hollow, Tom Brady, and Bloodcount up. This is a continuation of that podcast, so you can watch the rest of this playlist to get the rest of the breakdown. We've been covering some pretty gnarly subject matter, and to put me through the suffering of hearing all that bad news, and yeah, we're gonna do some more. So buckle up, get ready for the party, and try not to be too depressed. SoCal Honey Badger here, and we are going over a podcast interview roundtable discussion between one Mike Hollow, this dude right here, one Tom Brady, he is not here, but in his place is, I think, a Superman, okay, and one Bloodcount. We have a bunch of other people who are chiming in, and they're all cool people too, so pay attention to what they say. But the reason why we're following these three, this guy plays Mortal Kombat competitively, just like me. This guy, he is a game journalist. He plays Mortal Kombat competitively to some extent. He plays other games competitively to some extent. More of a general video game dude, right? And then this guy, the important one, makes Mortal Kombat, a former developer at NetherRealm Games from at least MKX up to at least the beginning of MK1's development. And it has been a very eye-opening podcast. Very disturbing information has come to light. And I have done a copious amount of narcotics. We're on like part freaking 5 billion of 687. So let's just keep the suffering going. I believe they're talking about cheating in Mortal Kombat and why that's okay.
I know Dizzy for a while competed in early MKX, for CEO, and then Combo Breaker, and then of course we had that set. For some reason, people still bring up that set we had at Evo, which was a very fun set. But I know Dizzy was the competitive player through Evo in that game. It just seems like as the competitive players decided they were just kind of like not even play for fun anymore. We'll just play to test the game and whatever. The soul just kind of got sucked out of there. What was it? What was the turning point in where MK was all about Mortal Kombat and what MK is to just, hey, I'm just trying to, move along and get a check and go home?
I think.
Well, he's scared to say.
Probably around MK11, because, yeah, MKX was extremely fun. Even
look at this man right here, Siege. Right? He's like me if I was there. I wasn't there. And I wish I was. They probably would have let me in on this, so I'm not saying they kicked me out or anything. But I wasn't there. I was unavailable. But Siege, he's the man that's my stand-in. If that's my created character, I created Siege. And he is saying he's picking my dialogue choices and also my reactions. You just see him immediately right there. Siege, yeah.
Even though I was crunching my ass off, like I was having fun. It was great to work on it. I think when people started to leave around MK11, especially in QA, that's when it started to go a little bit. And then, there was also some internal politics, especially with like job titles and what you're doing as a lead compared to what you really should be doing as a lead. And, and also not getting an opportunity to be like a director or, whatever the next thing is on the matrix of the corporate ladder for design. And
it's what I've always been talking about, man. Middle management scumbags that are just trying to shut the door behind themselves, right? Like, that's what the problem with the whole freaking corporate infrastructure, everything corporate. I am so, this is going to be like a big old anti-corporate rant. I should not. But yeah, you can already tell that basically everybody's just cock blocking everybody below them and doing the bare minimum to not get fired in hopes that they can eventually get the spot of someone else's when they move out to another studio. That's so soulless, so awful, so anti-art, just the absolute worst out of everything everywhere. That whole system is such a blood-sucking system that it's no wonder things are the way they are. The only miracle is that it didn't happen a decade before. Like, yo, like everything he's saying is just like, yeah, dude, I worked at a bank for like almost a decade, 8.5 or some odd years. Okay, so I know corporate everything about corporate infrastructure like the back of my freaking hand. My specialty was business banking. So it's like, to hear this, I can already imagine what's going on at that company, and it's being run like a freaking joke. And I'm like, man, like, yo, did you just hire a bunch of morons with like business degrees that never touched a PlayStation because like you could get them cheap out of college, and they've just kind of been holding on to a job they don't deserve forever? And then you hear that they worked with Sweet Baby, and it's like, yeah, they absolutely hired a bunch of people that don't deserve their job that are there. And it's like, dude, this is so disrespectful too. Because it's like, you know, their office and staff is probably filled with a bunch of DEI bullshit. And it's like, come on, man, we got Siege right here. He's a black dude that clearly knows how to play fighting games. Y'all couldn't have hired the black dude that's got the experience? You know, you're going to go and hire amateurs, third party, to QA test the game. Fucking joke, man. Oh, make me laugh, Bloodcount.
So a lot of people just kind of moved on, and again, like people here, it's like, yeah, if you have an opportunity in your career at a competitor or whatever, you're gonna, you most likely take that job because it's more money, it's a higher position, you actually will have some say or power. So
can I ask you a question? Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
It's just I don't want to forget this because someone's just brought it up. This is kind of off topic to what you're talking about now, but is there ever been any talk in the office whilst you were there about doing a follow-up to Shaolin monks?
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
All right, that made us smile.
If y'all want some good sales.
Oh, yeah.
Just Kage really quick, because I just want to say I enjoyed the back and forth. I'm glad you're having a lot of fun. And actually, I have a lot of friends who, over the years, as me as a competitive player, and they weren't, would make the same argument to me. Like, but why? Why does it take you playing the most dominant tactics with the most dominant characters to enjoy the game? And that really is just a fun argument. I mean, some people can just play anything, don't care if they win or lose, don't even care if they're doing the primary function of anything. And they can just say, hey, these two things don't even go well together. But hey, I have fun doing it, and we'll look at other players and say, well, why is fun for you playing what's meta? That's why it's called what's meta. I mean, that's pretty much how the game runs at its most effective rate, which most people are going to do in a fighting game. A fighting game is by natural a competitive game. It's not like you're playing Diablo or something like that. So that's just, different strokes. More people are going to find the other way fun, and if there's some limitations on playing that way, they're going to say the game has felt limited. I just wanted to answer that question for you, but I enjoyed the back and forth. I just wanted to say that.
No, I got my only problem with the cameo system. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I enjoyed also the back and forth. Even in my everyday life, I kind of enjoy some back and forth between people, but it's all respect. To even like come up with some arguments. I've watched.
I mean, are we just like gonna go and talk about how good of a time we're having?
Tournament video. Try to play strong. Respect.
Nothing wrong. I don't want to like react to him being nice,
but
like,
I would like I with
I
it.
have a question for.
Here we go. Question.
Why the names disappear? I forgot the guy's name.
Because I've got the super chat. We'll do
was it Bloody Count?
Blood count.
Blood count. Okay. I had a question for you. This is regarding NRS. Look, man. Just give me your honest opinion. Do you think the way that NRS is right now? You just said that they used to be passionate in the MKX days.
Well, this question is going to hurt
until MK11, right? Where you just They're just basically working for a check, right?
Yeah.
Well, well, the thing is, do you think? Well, since the low sales of Chaos Reigns, do you think that would get through to them on the next game that they make? Like, do you think that will instill passion into them, into their games again?
I want to say yes, but my gut is telling me no.
And my
The problem
mind's
here
telling
is
me
that that's more of like
no.
a WB thing because at the end of the day, like no matter what NRS wants to do, WB like has like okay, you guys are making an Injustice 3
Man,
game,
like,
or you guys.
It's just hearing it from a dude that was there, right? Good shout out to Siege for the question, man. He didn't ask me, but he asked him and he answered, and now I'm answering, right? And it's just heartbreaking to hear that, like, that's what it is in NetherRealm. They just, nobody cares. And even from a guy that was there at some point, his whole thing is that he doesn't think it's going to be fixed. Like, the problems at NetherRealm are basically unsolvable without, like, wiping the slate clean. Like, there just needs to be, like, some big, huge shift at NetherRealm. Like, everybody needs to be put on notice. The people that are going to work hard can stay and work harder than they have. And the people that don't and don't really want to be there should just be let go. That's why I keep saying, why does everybody get sad whenever we talk about, like, layoffs in the industry? I'm like, some people shouldn't be there, right? If someone's at a studio and they're just getting a check in hopes of getting to somewhere else, it's like, dude, instead of wasting our time, why don't you be, like, working harder on getting a job at Call of Duty or Blizzard or wherever it is that you actually want to go? Because you see that people get jobs at, these studios by all kinds of ways, being a content creator, being a tournament player, just interacting on Twitter, coming from an outside yet adjacent industry. It's like, oh yeah, I was a musician and they got an opening for a music guy, right? There's like tons of ways to get jobs at the companies that you want to. And I get that it's hyper competitive, but I don't think that we as the customer should be beholden to your waiting room. Okay, developers? Like, I should not be forced to fund your lifestyle while you wait for a better job. Do you understand that? Okay? You are not being forced to fund my lifestyle. Period. I am not going to fund yours. Okay? Like, I'm going to fund Mortal Kombat, but these people got to go. You know what I mean? I'm going to buy more Mortal Kombat games and Mortal Kombat DLC. Well, I don't know if I'll buy another game. Okay? I'm going to keep supporting the game that I have, but there's got to be something big to get another $100 and something bucks out of me. Like, I think that ship may or may not have already sailed NetherRealm. I'm not saying it's impossible to get me to buy a new game. I'm just saying that it does not seem very likely, though I will continue to support here and there the one that I have, and I'll buy the DLC for that to extend the value that I have of the game that you already sold to me. But it's just like I'm hoping for them to right the ship, and it doesn't look like they're gonna, according to one of their own who was smart enough to abandon ship. And that's the depressing part. Like, that's the actual sad thing about being a fan of this franchise and being a fan of just video games. Just why even be a fan of anything? And it's just like, a part of me recognizes the importance of why I'm even doing this. Because when I looked at this stream, and I got full endorsement from Mike Hollow to do this. I publicly tweeted him out. I said, hey, man, I want to do this. And he was like, fuck yeah. And I was like, fuck yeah. Right? So this isn't like a hate on him. This is like more of a collaboration, And I saw that it was 8 hours, but I saw that he was talking about this stream as if it was like one of the most important streams he had ever done. And that was what piqued my interest, was like, okay, this guy's trying to be a journalist, right? He's a wannabe journalist, right? Except after this, to my opinion, he was a journalist before this. He had kind of been covering stuff for a while. But this, to me, legitimizes him as not just a FGC journalist, but this is a gaming journalist, because he's kind of exposing how the whole industry is. you know, from somebody from the inside openly and just honestly. Like Mike Hollow got this guy to come out and spill the beans legit, no holding back. We're naming names and none of it's spite. The dude actually is holding back. You can tell he's not saying things that he knows will ruin relationships that he may need to keep, right? And I'm not just saying that politically, like, oh, he might fuck up his career. It's like, no, I bet he probably is friends with a lot of these people and doesn't want to say shit to hurt his friends. You know? It's like, yeah, I've worked a job in my life, a real job. I know what it's like. I don't go and really badmouth the companies I work for, even though one of them took my leg, right? But I'm like, no, I got friends that work there. I'm not trying to like put them out of business and put them out of work. I found something better to do with my time, but those of them that are still there, I just want things to be better for them, and you can tell that's what this blood count guy wants. He just wants things to be better, and I feel like things aren't going to get better unless this message gets amplified. That's why I'm doing this whole series. Nobody asked me to do it. I just saw that this needed to be done. Okay, Mike Hollow did 8 hours with a developer, and he said it's juicy, and I said somebody's got to curate it. So next clip. Just got to be good, man. Just got to be good. Hey, so if you follow YouTube enough, you know that they like to put weird stuff all over the screen for the last 30 seconds. So this is going to fill that space. Yeah. Yeah. It's probably right there and there. All over the place right now. Yeah, go ahead and click that stuff if you want. And that's 30 seconds.